Man. Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Special edition of the Music Industry Makeover Sunday night edition, because this week is Thanksgiving holiday weekend. We want you to spend time with your family, all right? So, happy Thanksgiving to you early from all of us here at the Music Industry. Yes, we are thankful for you all out there who have tuned in and being a part of the Music Industry Makeover. All right. So yes, how y'all doing, guys? What's going on with y'all?
Hey, it's on Sunday, man. Special presentation, and make sure y'all, man, have some ham ready for us, man. We may sneak over to your house for some dressing and some ham.
Well, now I wonder, those who don't eat meat. Now, what do they just get the vegetables at Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I went to this one lady's house once, and I was mad that year because I had decided to go vegetarian in October, November of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And this lady had jerk turkey on the menu. I was mad as I don't know what.
Jerk turkey, man. Jerk turkey. I never heard that.
Jerk turkey.
Jerk turkey.
Yeah. I never had that. Okay. I heard jerk chicken. I've had.
She had a jerk turkey. But ever since then, I've been doing tofurkey. I've done tofurkey a couple of times, and then the other times, I just do all the vegetables. I do the mac and cheese. I've decided to make it my job to bring the cranberry sauce because people always forget the cranberry sauce, and I need sauce.
Okay.
I saw this girl, man. She made some mac and cheese, and it looked like light tan.
Oh
man! He was like, that's not no mac and cheese.
She did.
I'm not eating that
for Thanksgiving out of the can.
Man,
it did not look good at all.
No, thank you. You'll be eating that. You'll be eating that yourself. God bless you. All right. Yes. Hey, this is a special edition of the Music Industry Makeover, and if you'd like to go and check us out, we are a digital marketing company, and we just we help independent artists, gospel Christian independent artists, to giving them the tools so that they can be successful, to where they can brand themselves, build a fan base, and make money. Okay, and so that's what we do. MIM. Okay, and go to our website, musicindustrymakeover.com. And if this is your first time ever joining us, thank you so much for being a part of it. Okay, spread the word and share this video out, and we would love to connect with you. Make sure if you're going to post anything, post on my platform on my profile so that I can put it on the screen. Okay, definitely. So tonight we're going to talk about. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, just make sure you guys, our regular schedule time is on Thursdays at 9 p.m. We have Thanksgiving next Thursday, and so we decided to do it a little earlier because we're not going to be on. We're going to be eating some ham and some sweet potato pie.
Yes, sweet potato pie for sure. Hey, Tanya. Turf food. Okay.
So all right. Some turf food too.
Turf food. All right. Yeah.
I might have to try that one. We'll see.
Yeah.
Me on tofurkey.
Man. Yes. But yeah, just like Rico said, normally at 9:00 on Thursday nights Eastern Standard Time, that's when we do the Music Industry Makeover, but not this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. All right. And we are thankful for you out there. Thankful for you for tuning in with us. Thank you all so much. All right. Well, hey, tonight we're going to talk about artist development. And that seems to be a lost art these days when it comes to independent artists.
Well, you know why it's lost? It's because we don't have labels anymore. The labels used to do that, right? The labels had an A&R department, and they would work to develop the artists before they would put them out there and market them. So, but now with all these independent artists around, and the labels aren't really, and the labels that are around, they're picking up artists who are already out there doing their thing. So they're not doing a whole lot of development. And you do it yourself, and then they pick you up. So, but in artists who are doing it themselves, they don't know a whole lot about the music industry. They don't know a whole lot about being an artist necessarily, what it takes. So then that artist development, they don't get that artist development, and they're kind of learning as they go. Really, they decide,
trial and error.
Artist, I sing good, I play good, I want to I want to share my music out there, and so they start putting it out there and start trying to do their thing. And really, it's a learning curve, and it's kind of a learn on the job, really.
Right.
Learn as you go.
But the big problem, adding on everything that you said is 100% correct, Simone. And to add a caveat, most artists just don't want to be patient. A part of artist
Very
development
good. Very
is
good.
patience, right?
Yes.
So, before Neo ever came out, and I'm just kind of using the example, before Neo ever came out as an artist, he was behind the scenes getting checked for writing. But before that, he was already on the staff being groomed. So a lot of the mainstream artists that you now see, except the ones that just signed through social media, those artists have been on staff for 5, 10 years, but you just didn't see them. So a
Right.
part of being an artist, getting developed as an artist, is being patient. You have to not only have to be patient. Maybe you got a great voice, but maybe your range needs some work on your voice. So that means if you're a singer, every singer should be taking vocal lessons. Even Beyonce take vocal lessons. Mariah Carey take vocal lessons. No matter how great you are as a singer, going to a vocal teacher is going to help you redefine or stretch a range that you already have naturally, and to kind of perfect what you're already working on. So that's just one. That's just one avenue of artist development. But you got to have patience. You can't be so quick and ready to hit the stage without perfecting your craft. And artist development is allowing someone else who has a greater talent level, who understands what it should be, what it should sound like. You have to allow them to groom you and to teach you how to become that great artist, or hopefully you want to become. So,
right. I like to define artist development as taking you from a singer to an artist. There are lots of singers out there. Singers are a dime a dozen, really. But artist, a true artist, is somebody that understands. They understand stage presence. They understand branding. They understand marketing. They understand, what the music should sound like, and they understand a lot of different things. I did a blog post on this a while back, and I had a ton of stuff on my list as far as what does artist development include. We talked about the musicianship. It's about, knowing your equipment, performing on stage, your image, graphics, fashion, your website, photography, your accessories, all that stuff, business management, marketing and publicity, production, radio, sales, who's your team, who's on your team, who's doing what. And a lot of this legal stuff too. A lot of that, all of that encompasses being an artist. You need to be able to have all of these pieces as part of your artist brand, your artist, persona.
Amen. Exactly. And I think one of the best artist developers back in the day, Barry Gordy from Motown. And if you all ever get a chance, you need to definitely research them and go visit the museum there in Detroit. And I mean, they showed a picture of the great artists that were on the label, Diana Ross, Smokey Robinson, all them, how they looked without the makeup and all the dress, and then they showed a picture with the makeup and their costumes on. So it's just like they took ordinary people and they made them into the image that they wanted to represent for Motown.
Right.
So as
once Kevin James saying to me, he said he had been at a concert once, and he said, the girl who was singing, she wasn't very well put together necessarily. He said she looked like they took somebody off the second row and said, "Come here, come up here. We want you to sing." And like she didn't look like an artist. He thought.
Right.
A lot of artists they take time.
Patience.
Right. Yep. They go to people who know more about fashion and imaging and that kind of stuff than they do. And so they put together a look that makes them stand out from the crowd and that is in line with their branding.
Right.
There you go.
And one thing that's great too is your stage presence. Because I know we said we're going to dissect this. We're going to talk about some specific things.
Yes.
Having a stage presence. Some people, as you know, I don't have to call our names because I don't want to put people on the spot, but it's kind of known if you go to concerts, if you go to a lot of Christian hip hop concerts, you have a lot of artists that are good. They got bars, they can rap, but their stage presence is like whack, right? Because
Yeah.
Mhm.
either they don't understand you have to be able to move around, not standing in the same spot, being
Right.
able to make eye contact with different people throughout your audience. If you're just rhyming, you have to have something else going on stage other than just you rhyming, or you got to have some type of backdrops because you understand people's they have
Attention.
a very
Right.
attention span. Yes, is
Yeah.
very very short. So
Yes.
if you're gonna get up and do 2 songs and just you rapping your bars, you got to have something going on stage. Whether it be dancers,
Yeah.
your choreography. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, and making sure everybody's in sync and in time. You know what I mean. You also
Right.
want to be able to perfect your performance.
Yeah.
Perfecting it means when you see artists perform like in Super Bowl, different places, they rehearse that routine,
Yeah.
man, 1,000 times.
Right.
I remember when I was in high school and I was in the band, and when we got ready, before we got on the field on a Friday night to do what we had to do, we busted our behinds through the week in practice. We doing the same dance routine, like literally for the whole summer before we had a chance to perform. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And we would do that routine at least for 3 or 4 games, and then after that we'll change. So a part of your performance is practicing to make perfect. I say a lot of artists don't like that. You cannot be a great artist if you hate practicing.
Come
And
on.
and and practicing means you only get 24 hours in a day. So you have to allocate time to sleep, time to work to make your bread, right? Because you got to make money, but
Mm.
then you got to put some time into perfecting being. So that means something
Right.
has to be cut short.
Right.
You can't do everything. And that's how you begin to, because if people love, that's how you put butts in the seats. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Because I hear a lot of people say, man, he's a great rapper, but his stage performance is not really that good, and you don't want people to say that to you.
Right.
And so it may mean you may have to, put some more money in order for someone to kind of handle your performance. The thing that we talked about at the beginning with A&R reps. Why a lot of record labels hire A&R reps that are actually producers. These were the A&R reps were actually producers that actually had hit records that was actually A&Rs that labels, because these producers, although they had placements and not they had hit records, but they knew how the music needed to sound, right? They knew what needs to go where. They actually are used to making hits. Most of the time when they hired A&R, these guys, man, have had several hits, so they know the formula to making hits. Although you don't know what song is going to be a hit, but you can structure a song in
Mm.
such a manner to try to put it in that hit arena. You know what I mean? It just means some other things. So this is a part of artist development, and being, getting into that right vein is you having to trust someone else. You
Mm-hmm.
have to trust someone else that's smarter than you with your craft. You can't be so stingy with your craft, because if you don't know how to do something, somebody else got to show you how to do it. You know
Right.
what I mean? And so artist development is really, really important. And that's the thing. You have to want it. If you don't want it, you're not going to get better at what you're doing.
Hey, if
Yeah.
y'all got any questions or comments or so concerning artist development, what we're talking about stage presence here, feel free to go ahead on and type it in, and so that we can address that, because we're here to help teach you all the different things out there when it comes to the music industry. And artist development is a vital part. It's part of your presentation. And we were talking about this earlier before the show, how someone that I knew was telling me about her business, but her presentation wasn't really that interesting. So I lost interest. All right. And so as an artist, you don't want to lose the interest of the consumer, because you want them to like you as an artist.
Right.
All right.
And you don't want them to come to one show or buy
Right.
one CD. You want them to continue to come to
And
you,
you to come.
continue to buy the stuff that you're offering. Repeat customers are gold in business. So
Exactly.
You know, it's easier to keep a customer than to get a new customer. It costs less when you're doing your marketing. It costs less to sell to a repeat customer than it is to get a new customer. So yeah, your presentation needs to be good. Your structure, your infrastructure needs to be set up properly so that when people do come to you and they want to buy, that it's a good experience for them, right? You want you know, when you're first reaching out to people, make it a good experience, make it something friendly. I keep getting in my inbox, people just drop a YouTube video and I'm like, hey, how you doing?
Exactly.
Like, what is this YouTube video and why am I taking my time watching it? What is it about? What's going on here? But I get no feedback from them. When you're sending out your music, we keep saying this. Remember, you're talking to people, and people like conversation, and they like, we're building relationships. So do the things that you do with your friends. Give a shout out. Hey, how are you doing? What's going on? Here's my new video. I'd like you to check it out and let me know what you think or something.
You have a business
and roll out.
And one thing that she hit on was, she was talking about, you paying. The thing that I see a lot of problem when cats have businesses, sometimes it's a hassle to pay. And I remember trying to buy a particular product, and they wanted me I had to create an account before I buy the product. What if I don't want an account?
Any shopping cart I set up, you can check out as a guest. If I have to set up an account, I'm not cool with that. You're gonna get my email address anyway because you got to send me a receipt.
Right. So I don't want to set up an account. I just want to buy the product, and then after setting up the account, it was a complex process to order what you had in the cart and checking out. Like, that's a part of
that's going to turn people away. Yeah, you don't want to turn people
away.
Very
easy for people to do business with you.
Make it easy for them to give you the money.
That's very, very good point y'all made. Make it easy for them to do business with you.
Give you the money.
Now we're talking about business because really you are a business. As an artist, that is a business. You're the entertainment business. You're in the music business. Okay, so you have to present yourself accordingly and say, make it easy. Don't nobody want to sign up for accounts or so. All right.
I heard about this guy did this podcast one time and he was talking about opportunities, opportunities that are given to you and being ready for those opportunities that come. Right. He talked about these two artists. They both did videos and both of these videos went viral. So the videos went viral and they were trying to take advantage of it. Right. All these people, all these new eyeballs coming and see him. They were like, okay, hey, go to one artist said, go to my website, you can buy my album here, the song you heard, blah, blah, blah. The other artist was not set up for all this traffic. They didn't have a website set up. They were telling people to mail a check or money order to a snail address.
Really? Now that's crazy.
This is 2019.
What? First of all, you don't want to look. It's
they weren't ready.
What? What are you gonna do, man, when people send you a check?
Be set up.
And your check bounces. And you
right.
The product out.
Then what?
What are you gonna do? Right? You shouldn't be receiving checks in the first place. Like,
right.
Then too, man, it can't be cash because a lot of times if you're in Chicago and they're in California, they can't make a transaction with cash. So you need to be set up through PayPal, some type of service, man, where you can
electronic,
digital service
transactions,
so you can get it done.
They wanted to check or money order in the mail. I said, what year is this?
Man, crazy. Yeah.
So be ready. Who knows? You might have this situation happen to you. You may write a song that just goes viral, or you do a video that it goes viral. Tons of people love it. Well, now you got to be ready to accept and to take advantage of all these new people who are seeing you. Right? What's your call to action? What do you want them to do? You don't want to be sending them all over the place, you know? Do you want them to like your video? Do you want them to subscribe to your channel? Do you want them to buy your t-shirt or buy your album? You know, be ready for these kinds of things.
You know, one thing that we always talked about is a lot of artists, without fail, they want to perform. They want to perform. Every artist can't wait to get to the stage,
get on the stage,
get that microphone. But the problem is, if you get in front of people and you don't have yourself set up to receive the harvest, you know, if you have a great set, because people are impulsive, right? You perform and do a set, you drop your website. If you really did really dope and you did really good, people will log on their phone right then and subscribe to whatever you have going on. So that means you need to have your site set up. Test your page up to make sure your email works properly.
Links, make sure the links work. Right, you know?
Because that's going to be the simplest way for you to start capturing your own customers. And I know we talk about it all the time. You know, websites are dying for the sense of being able to go deep into a website, you know, having 20 pages. You know, when people lay on your page, people don't have time to go through 25, 30 pages, right?
Right. People don't even go to websites a whole lot anymore. So you got to be quick with it. What do you want me to do? I'm here.
All you need is a one-page scrolling, have a place that you can capture that name and email address so you can reach back out to the customer. You know, we all, Simone always talks about, hey, you know, your website is your home. You need a home.
Yes.
Because you don't want, and I give myself an example. I've been a part of Reverb Nation for a lot of years, but I never did buy the premium account because I really, Reverb Nation consists of a lot of artists. You don't have a lot of customers that actually do business on there. It's a community of musicians and talent. So, but the thing is, a lot of people started subscribing to my page, and because I didn't have a premium service, I only had access to 500 people. That still was 431 more people that are subscribed that I have access to because, number one, I wasn't in control of my database. So if I never, ever would have got a premium account, those names would have been lost to me. You want to be able to control your name and email addresses, right? Because no matter what you got going on, you may have an artist, which is yourself. You may be that artist. Down the road, you may start, you know, working with a couple of the artists or a couple of artists that you want to produce or put on. And you already have a mailing list that you can kind of send those artists to, so you actually have your own audience. So your fan base is something that you can eat off of, you know, forever. But you got to capture it, you got to own it. So it's important that you be able to control that on your own.
Absolutely.
Again, we are the Music Industry Makeover. All right, and again, we're taking all your questions and comments. We normally come on Thursday nights, but we're doing a Sunday night because Thursday is Thanksgiving, and so we know everybody's going to be with their families. So if you got any questions or comments, feel free to go ahead on and post them for us. All right, and we would love to answer that. We're talking about artist development. All right, artist development, and we just dealt with stage presence. Yes, stage presence. So
infrastructure
and infrastructure.
Being ready when you're putting yourself out there. And people are watching you, they're seeing you, they want to invite you to come to their church or whatever, you know. You have to be ready to accept invitations, to accept purchases, to you know, to be sending out t-shirts if you're selling t-shirts, or you know, if you don't have it set up for drop shipping or anything like that. But we're talking about being ready. As a business, if you are a business and if you're selling music, you're a business.
Right.
You have to be ready to deal with customers. And your customers we're in a digital age now. People want stuff very quickly.
Right.
So
quick, fast, in a hurry. Yes.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry. So we just talked about this artist who went viral with a video. And because they weren't ready, they were telling people to send in a check or money order to buy their project. Like, that's not going to happen, people. Nobody's going to take that time to do it. And you don't want to get bounced checks in the mail either. So
exactly.
Be ready. Be ready to put yourself out there. Be ready to accept.
I guess you have to come with the level of expectancy. All right.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, believe in your product, but believe in your music. So, and you have to be unprepared. So
absolutely.
And
you
one
know,
other thing,
a faith exercise. It's kind of stepping out in faith. Like, you know, I'm about to put my music out. I know I'm gonna get people coming to me to order my album, so I got to be ready for it.
Exactly.
That's a faith exercise.
One other thing with our performance development that's really really needed, and if you can take this nugget, it's gonna bless your life if you're an artist, right? Especially if you're a rapper or you're a solo performer or you're an artist just doing your thing, you know, solely by yourself. Invest money into a good sound system, right? I mean, you need your own sound system. There are some churches that they just don't have the sound system. And if they bring you in, a part of your rider should be you should know this, you know, going in what the sound, you know, or have a requirement, at least. And if they're not able to meet the requirement for your rider, you should be able to bring your own setup, right?
Right.
That's
And
good.
and the problem is because your presentation that you give people is your responsibility. If somebody writes you in to the church and the church's system is just the monitors are blown, they don't have any stage monitors so you can hear yourself, or their carless mics get in and out. Guess what? It is the church's fault to a degree because you're involved. They invited you, but it's also
Right.
your fault because you didn't cover that on your rider. The other thing is you need to be prepared. Like invest in a sound system. Like
Right.
it's important. You can put together. I worked at Music Depot for years. You can take a good $7,000, $6,000, right? And you can put together your own portable system
Okay.
with that bass that kills it. Get you a mixer, your amp. You know, you get your couple cordless microphones for 6 or 7 grand. You can put together a real stellar system that's great, and you don't have to worry about how somebody's system sounds. You know, and it may mean that you know what you may have to hold off for a while before performing. But guess what? I remember when uh, um, what's the guy named Lord have mercy. I always would chat with Yolanda Adams, the pastor. Yolanda Adams and Kurt Franklin, they would always do the Johnny McClurkin. I'm sorry.
Diamond Clark, yeah. Okay.
So we were playing at a church. I'm sorry, forgive me. My mind just went blank. So we was playing at a church and doing a concert. Johnny McClurkin was there, a couple other people, but the sound system went out. And right before Danny came on, we kind of went on first. And I was playing drums at this concert, but the system went out before he went on. Man, his people went and pulled racks and cases in, and he set up his own sound system. He had brought his own
Wow.
sound system just in case.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
even though we was in a big mega church, man, his system was 10 times better than what was in the church, right?
What?
And it took him, 40 minutes to set it up. But after that, they plugged all the boards in, they plugged the drums up. Within, a few minutes, bam, state of the art concert.
Yeah.
Although he wasn't expecting that, but he was expecting that if he had to, he had his own system.
Be ready.
So
He was
that's
ready.
when I learned professionalism. He didn't just bring out a little boom box. Man, he came out.
He said a little boom box.
Hey, it kind of changed my mind. I'm like, okay, man, this cat was really like, man, because if he had went on, he wouldn't have gave a good performance, but he tore down the house. So I'm saying you have to invest money into yourself. I know you guys get tired of saying that all the time, but you can't be a successful artist and not spend money, right? It's going to take you money to even put together your sound system, but that's a part of your performance development. You got to know that going in. What do you need in case if something happens?
Awesome, man. Great information right there. Man, again, this is the music industry makeover. If you're an artist out there, you have any questions or so concerning what we're talking about, artist development. And, as we said earlier, it's become of a lost art because, not many record labels out there. And plus part of the reason too, and we said it too earlier that artists are not patient enough either. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to require patience. Hey there, E.G. Aaron from Ohio.
Bro.
How you doing?
Yeah. Glad
Good.
you're on, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. That's my uncle there. Yeah, Glenn. Yeah, how you doing?
What's up, Glenn?
All right. Yeah. I'll see you at Thanksgiving. Cool.
All right now.
Yes. Awesome. But yeah, but again, guys, hey, you have to be patient with this if you're trying to get to the level of success that you would like to be at as an artist. All right. And yes, I know God has anointed you, He's blessed you, He's anointed a whole bunch of people as well. But you have to do your due diligence. You have to practice at it. You have to go through the process. You can't avoid the process. All right.
Absolutely.
And this is about discipline for sure. Oh yes. Hey, feel free to hit us up. All right, we are here for you. Okay, thank you all so much for tuning in. Kevin James in the house. Deborah, how you doing? Hey, happy Thanksgiving out there to you all. As I said, we normally come on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. right here, but we're doing this special Thanksgiving edition on Sunday so that we can remain consistent every week. We're giving you all a show. All right, and so because we enjoy doing what we do, and we thank you all so much for tuning in.
I'm amen. I'm in church. Sorry.
oh, you're in church. Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
I'm going
I know what's going on back there. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So what's the next segment of this for is artist development? We talked about stage presence. So
stage presence. So another part of artist development is really, having people in charge, man. Putting people, having the right people in charge, having a team so you can focus on music. Like you got to understand management. Like you can't do everything by yourself, right?
No, you can't. I know Vicky Weiner says, as long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else. Well, no, that sounds good, but
no, doesn't say that.
No, right.
The Bible don't even say that. God didn't even say that. When He created Adam, He gave him angels to talk to. He had the animals. He had all the food he could ever eat. He still created a woman.
Help me.
Somebody who's just like you. Another human being. We all need people.
We need people. Bottom line.
We need each other. We need people. What you're saying, not just with setting up your sound system and that kind of stuff. What I see a lot of artists need too is like help afterwards, after the show, after the performance, whatever. They need help at their tables to roll the t-shirts, size the t-shirts, take the money, help them unwrap the CDs when people are buying CDs and they want autographs, just to kind of keep the line moving, get people coming to your table.
Right.
I see a lot of people, a lot of artists just kind of sit behind the table and they're not really interacting with anybody. If nobody is coming to their table or anything, they just kind of sit there. Sometimes it's helpful to have somebody come with you to kind of whip up some excitement and some interest in what it is you have to offer to drive people to your table, or if you do have a crowd at your table, to help move things along, to take the pictures while you're signing autographs and hugging people and whatever else. So having a team is important.
Yeah, go ahead, Rico. You about to say something? Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, one thing I want to hit on is a part of your artist development is song structure, right? It's a big issue when you don't know how to properly structure a song. When you're talking about chorus, verse, chorus, if you need to do a revamp or a bridge, you may need someone to help you set up your song structure so that your songs have shock value. If your songs are just looped, if you just loop your song and it's boring, it doesn't create shock value. Every time you complete a song, if it's a great song, that listener should want to hit replay. There are songs that when I listen to an album, the song is so dope and it's so good, it speaks to me. I may listen to that one song 30 times because I connected to that song. And that's how you can test yourself as an artist when you develop, when you're creating song structure. What's the replayability on that song? Once that song is done, once that song is ended, does that listener want to hit replay again? You do have to create songs with bridges in it. A boring song is just chorus, verse, and the song is gone, right? If you have 3 different choruses in a song and the instruments are moving a little bit differently, when you come back around to that chorus, You know, if your drums are consistent in the pocket, but you got to change something to break up the monotony. Unless you are a true musician, you have a lot of artists that you guys are not musicians. You guys don't write music, read music. You can't create music. You're just you're singing a song, and and that's fine if you're that. But you got to go to a person. That's what made mainstream record labels so effective. And you can't hate on those cats because their music is dope.
Songwriting shops, right?
Because they got writing shops that teach people how to write songs correctly.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I remember what helped my game as a producer when I was, submitting songs for placement on major labels. You have A&R, music supervisor that tell you like, yo, I need this horn to do more stuff. The horn just can't sit there and take pictures. It needs to shine. Your drums need to do this. Your piano, if you're gonna come here with this chord progression, but when you get here, because this other stuff is going on, you need to do this with that. And I know that may sound like a lot of work, so that's why you need someone in charge of your music, right? And so that's important. Song structure. Go ahead, Simone.
I like what. Oh, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'm back to the song stuff, and then we can pass by. I remember being at a concert once and listening to this girl's song, and like the first part of the song, it sounded pretty good, but then I guess she got into a vamp, and I don't know if she was revamping and changed the chorus or what she was doing, but I got lost. My sister and I got lost, and my sister she's with me, and I know if she's lost, then I'm not crazy because she's the professional musician. It's one of the tips that I give is to learn the rules of writing songs before you break the rules, right? And it's the same thing with pretty much everything. Learn the rules first and then decide to break them and kind of do your own thing. But know a good basic starting point first and then kind of get creative and do your own thing.
Amen. Kevin James says your appearance is a part of artist development as well as the way you speak is also a part of it.
Absolutely.
Now that's a good point.
That's part of your branding. That's like your overall message, right? If a hip hop artist will speak differently from a jazz artist, will speak differently from easy listening type of ballad type artist, who will speak differently from maybe a CCM artist, right? The way you speak, the way you dress. Kevin, you weren't here earlier. I told the story about when you were at a concert and you said the lady on stage looked like they just called her off the front row and said, hey, come up here and sing. You need to look like you're an artist. Get a stylist. It's going to cost you some money. We talk about investing in yourself all the time, but but that it's part of the way you look, the way you speak, your visual graphics, your photographs, all of that is part of your branding. It gives people an impression of who you are and what your message is when they first see you, when you first step on stage, when they first see your album cover or flyer, all of those visuals, that's all part of your branding, not just what you say, but what you say and what you look like have to match. Oh, let me tell you this one story. I was at this showcase once. A lady walked up front to do her song. She's an older woman. She looked like she was in her 70s, to be honest. And she was wearing this kind of brownish, beige muumuu thing, right? Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, she's this, I'm getting ready to sit back and listen to a traditional sounding song, right? I'm thinking she's a traditional gospel artist. She opened her mouth and started singing. She sounded more like Jill Scott. And I was like, what just happened? I was so confused with the way she looked, because the way she looks said traditional gospel, but the way she sounds was completely different.
Wow.
Your look and your sound should match, right? If you're a hip hop artist, you probably shouldn't walk out onto the stage wearing a suit, right?
I done seen that, man. That's crazy.
Man, that's crazy.
Confuse people.
It's just like Kevin just said, a lot of artist development is dealing with things that bring people to you.
Absolutely.
All
Absolutely.
Saying what's going to attract them to you, because again, your brand, of who you are is, I mean, because eventually the goal is to get super fans, is to get those consumers that believe in who you are as an artist,
Yeah.
and that like what it is that you're putting out. Hey, if you got any questions or comments, feel free to go ahead on and post them like everyone else is doing. Hey, Kevin Riley, thank you so much for joining us as well.
Kevin.
Yeah,
And
Kevin. I'm glad
CC
you're
Con,
on, bro.
yes, yes, we normally, those that know us, we normally come on every Thursday night, but we're doing a special Sunday edition because this Thursday is Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving from Music Industry Makeover to you all out there. Happy early Thanksgiving, right? Enjoy with your family, because that's what it's mainly all about, and we are thankful that you all support us here on the Music Industry Makeover. All right. Again, the topic is artist development. Yes, and that is such a vital part. TC Congress, man. Hey, TC, man. If you want to come on, if you have any comments that you want to say about this as well, yeah, feel free. I'll send you the link. Okay. Yeah. So good. Hey, very. Make sure you all go visit us. Visit our Facebook page, Music Industry
Hey,
Makeover.
Daryl.
Hey, Daryl, how you
What's up,
doing?
Daryl?
Yeah, and then go visit our website, musicindustrymakeover.com, and you can see everything that we offer. We are a digital marketing company, and we take pride in what we do. Yes, God bless you too, Tamika. How you doing? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. And so, yeah, we want to help you out there. If you're an independent artist looking for marketing, and so, hey, we are one of many other great companies out there that's catering to who you are, the Christian independent artist. We want to see you succeed, build a fan
And
base. Exactly. Hey, Tim.
and one other thing too that you got as an artist, as part of the artist development for the admin side, learn publishing. Like there's so many classes. You can take a class on Udemy. There's so many different classes that'll teach you to understand publishing, whether it be sync, mechanical royalties, music licensing. Take time to learn this on your own, so that when you're having conversations with people, or you in a deal, you can know what's realistic and what's not
Thank
realistic.
you,
You
kid.
can you can understand how the percentages work. You know what I mean? Educate yourself. You don't have to
Oh,
spend a lot of money. Those books are available for you to
all right.
understand, so you can understand streaming. You can
Hey,
understand
Taylor.
just the administrative side of music. And if you're doing all your music on your own, even though somebody else may help you with it or do it for you on your team, you as an artist, you need to understand
No.
how
Yeah.
it works.
Exactly.
But speaking of that, there is an issue like that's kind of out public right now. Taylor Swift is she's having a fight
Yeah.
with her label and her managers, and there's a big, for her, she feels like, I wrote these songs, I should be able to perform them and record them how I want, where the label and the managers are saying, no, you can't. So there,
Hey,
you have
well.
to learn the difference between, there's a difference between your rights as a songwriter and your rights as a recording artist. So it
Mhm.
sounds to me like in their fight that they have the rights to her recordings, and they're not letting her re-record or use those recordings again or whatever. I don't know if that's what she wants to do in her new show or whatever. But even though she has the rights to her song, she as the songwriter, but those recordings they have the rights to. So it sounds like she signed away the master
Right.
recording rights, and they're not letting her use those recordings because, like, I guess in a lot of these shows that people use their recordings, they'll use those performance tracks or whatever, the stems and that kind of thing, right, in their shows. um,
Mm-hmm.
so even though she wrote all the songs, those recordings she doesn't have the rights to, and
She owned.
so
Right.
there's a big
Right.
fight there. So that's something definitely that you need to learn.
That's
I'm not an
contractual.
expert in that. I'm not an expert in that, but that's definitely something as an artist that you should learn and know when you're working with a producer, who has the rights to what. If you wrote the song or you're writing the song with somebody, if you're developing what the drums sound like, and the producer
Right,
is developing what the keyboards sound like, or whatever, you guys have to work that out. You have to know what rights you have and what rights you're signing away.
Kevin James said artists needs to know where they are signing.
Absolutely.
That is the issue. That is the issue that Simone is discussing. It's a contractual issue. You need to know the contract. All contracts are not set up the same. There is not a map type contract. There are inclusion, exclusions, there are additions. There are some additions that may come in the future. All contracts are not the same. TC, we lost you, bro. Okay. All contracts are not the same. You need to find out what's in your contract.
Yeah.
If you're not well versed in contracts, you need to pay. That's another part of our service that we offer. We review contracts for you because a lot of people don't understand the jargon.
Yeah.
But you need to know what you're signing. I can tell you some horror stories, but know what you're signing. Bottom line.
Hey, what if they? Kevin James, as well as Kevin Riley. He said he invited the Angelica Records artists to hear this. Hey, welcome Angelica Records.
Angelica Records.
Yes, definitely for tuning in. Actually, we normally come on Thursday nights, but we're just doing a special Sunday night because it's Thanksgiving. And hey, hopefully we get a chance to work with Angelica Records. All right. But hey, we want to welcome my man TC Congress. Right there, I just call him TC.
What's up, brother?
Yes, hey, radio producer, radio station owner. Man, how you doing there, brother?
Great. How y'all doing tonight, man? Thank y'all for having me on, man. I jumped on real quick here.
Great, man. Hey,
man.
All right, good to have you.
Yeah, definitely, man. Hey, give us some tips that you want to talk about for us with this artist development, because I'm sure you see a lot of that, and you being a radio station executive of what's the station, 103.9?
Yeah, WOGS 103.9. We got A Pulse Radio, and now we got Soul Jazz Radio. So I got 3 stations now. So.
Wow. 3 stations. Hey, you all need to contact this brother right here. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and I will be sending you my shows, man. Hey, I just been running.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll talk about that later, but thank you, man.
Yeah. All right. But yeah, for us, when it comes to artist development, and so, what tips can you give some of the artists that are on here right now?
Well, you know what? I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad you're talking about it today, because I come across a lot of people that don't know how to communicate with a lot of radio execs as far as like how to get their music on. So I have some people just send me emails. And kind of impersonal. They don't introduce themselves. They just send me a link to their YouTube. Well, that's a no. Don't send a link to your YouTube page, because I can't do nothing with the song. I don't have no information on the song.
Right.
I can't do nothing with that. So that's one of the things that I come across quite a bit. The music is not tagged. And we should talk about it a lot on Basic Foundations as far as like how to tag your music and things like that. Where they want you credit for it, through the metadata and things like that. There's a lot of things I understand that artists don't know because they're just getting into this thing, and I think a lot of them be excited to get into it, but they don't really understand the dynamics of how the industry works. And I think Kevin always said that he said he can give you the roadmap, but you need somebody to drive the car to get you there.
Right.
And and it's so true. It's so true. Yeah. And the thing is, what we have to keep in mind too, that as we do a lot of give a lot of information to the artists, that we have to be in a teaching mode as well as getting them to understand what's going on, because a lot of them don't understand what's going on. And it's for the artists, though. I will say this: as part of your development is learning about the main things, is learning about this industry. That's the main thing, because once you start learning, I always say that we talk about music ministry, and I always like to say that ministry is business, and business is ministry. Well, the thing is, if you learn about business first, then you can learn about the music industry. It goes hand in hand. And I think that's what's wrong with that's part of the main development that the artists don't understand is the business aspect of it.
Yeah. I think when your business is straight, your ministry is stronger.
Yep.
When your business is straight, things are moving, flowing like they should, things are set up properly like they should, then you can minister and be strong with it and not have to worry about all the rest of the business stuff because it's taken care of. And having that team is crucial, because as an artist, as the business owner, you're driving that vision. You know where you want to go, and your team helps you get there.
Right.
I like what Kevin James said on a post last week. He said, just because you won a Stellar, you may not be worth $5,000 for it.
I like that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I I'm gonna
That's
tie
enough
that
for
into what TC just said.
mm-hmm.
You have to know this business because
Mm-hmm.
there's a Christian market and then there's a mainstream market.
Yes, it
The
is.
pricing is going to be different, right,
Mm-hmm.
in those markets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to know what those map prices are, right? You know, the
Mm-hmm.
problem that when we saw Monique get into an issue with Netflix
Yep.
because she wanted, 500. She got mad because she got $500,000 for a show. I mean, 500,000 for her special, but so another female artist got a couple million. But although she won an Emmy,
Mm-hmm.
Emmy, she felt that she should get more. So it depends. It depends on your base. It depends on supply and demand. But you
Right.
also got to know the industry.
Right.
Like
Yes.
you can't take when people talk about, and I use this for an example because this goes back to what TC said in understanding the industry. When you're in the mainstream and you're managing the mainstream, that 20% was a map price at one point. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about before technology got it advanced, the most that a manager would make would be 20, right?
20%.
But
Yeah.
when it became to DIY on the independent side, your manager does a lot more things than a mainstream manager may do because the record labels did a lot of things for the artists that
Right.
managers didn't have to do. Now managers have to do a lot more work, and so managers have to get more than 20%. So you
Exactly.
can't hope you can't that 3% record percentage that you get your 3% on the record, those 3 points on the record, when you produce records and you get your standard 3 points, like that goes out the window now because we're on the DIY side. That those numbers don't translate on the Christian side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a manager, your manager may be worth 60% if that manager is bringing you gigs, paying gigs. If your
Yeah.
manager is finding you sponsorships,
There
right?
you
If
go.
your manager, right now, if you're bringing in $500 per
Mm-hmm.
month, but that manager is going to bring your $500 a month up to $5,000 a month, that manager is worth more than 20%. Matter of fact, you got to that manager may be worth 75, 80, 90%, and you
Right.
may be working
Yeah.
at 10.
In
Right?
which case now you have a label.
There you go. There you go.
So
Right.
you can't apply that percentage map structure.
Right.
It's different.
It's different, yeah.
You got
That's
to
why
know the
those
business
people are
because
doing 360 deals now because it takes so much
you
more work.
you would insult an opportunity because you don't know how the numbers work.
Yeah.
And a person that knows the game, if you insult a person to the degree because you're ignorant on what it costs, you'll burn a bridge and you won't have an opportunity to do something that you love to do, or they won't rock with you again because you're ignorant and you won't learn. Go ahead.
And
Exactly. Exactly. Go ahead.
and that's a result of doing something that was done back in 1980s and 90s, trying to use that same structure into to 2019. That's
Thank
not
you.
going to work. The game
Thank you.
has changed now. Okay.
Thank you. I was going to mention that. I was going to mention that the music industry has changed but we're in the downloads and digital downloads and things like that now. So the thing is that you got to have. And I'm looking at what Kevin said. You got to hire somebody to help you out. That's so true and so key because
Right.
we're in a different time now. It's not like back in the day now. We got a lot more people that's independent. And, and I understand for the fact, the artists can't do everything they sometimes we try to tell them to get a team and things like that. But what happens? What happens with a lot of artists that's trying to get to the industry? They go to all these showcases and all these places and figure they'll go ahead and get out here and get their stuff out there, stuff like that. And that's great. But here's the problem. And here's the thing I have. Like I said, I love the Stellar Awards. I'm not talking against the Stellar Awards. I'll put disclaimer. I'm gonna put a disclaimer out there. The views and the opinions of TC does not have the vision of the music industry takeover. Okay, so this is all TC talking right here.
Makeover. He said takeover.
Takeover, whatever. Y'all taking over. So hey, it's all good. Makeover. It's all good.
We're gonna
It's
make
all
over, then
good.
we're gonna take over. So.
Right, but the Makeover. So my apologies, messed up y'all names. But what happens a lot of times is that they go out there to the Stellars and like I said, Stellar Awards happens and stuff. You got the same people doing the same awards, the same thing going on. Then you go out there, you try to network with the people that you're never going to go ahead and network with. And a lot of them don't even know about the industry because a lot of them was mainstream and only had certain knowledge of the industry as well. So you're not going to get the knowledge that you're looking for in that at the same time. So what we have to do, it's like anything else, like going to school. When we went to school for 12 years, we learned how to be an American, learn how to live in society. It's the same thing with the music industry. We got to take that knowledge and wisdom that we give in the music industry, apply it to that, and also listen to people. You got to be teachable. What's happening with a lot of artists and stuff, they don't know how to be teachable, and I think that's the reason why we have a lot of failed things going on in the music industry and the gospel side right now because nobody want to be teachable. Everybody they arrive because they got a song out on the radio and things like that. It takes
They're
nothing more than just that.
anointed. They're anointed by God. What else do they need?
You know what I mean? Yeah, but the anointing is great as it is. It's great, but is that are you gonna make this a career? Or are you gonna do ministry? Like we always just say, if you gonna do ministry, guess what? You go ahead and give the music away. You don't need no money. Give it all away.
Right.
It's ministry.
You
Now
don't
you're
want
doing
to
a
do
career,
business and give it away.
right? If you're gonna do a career, then you got to learn the steps what it takes to build your craft and manage your craft. If you take the time to manage your craft and really understand this business, it's cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, but you have to go ahead and apply that knowledge. And like you said, you got to have somebody, you got to have a team, you got to have people around you. And trust me, like I said, I do a lot of things myself with my radio station, but I got other people that do help me. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Radio is a huge roadblock.
How is that?
Yeah,
definitely. Expand on that real quick, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
I say this as well. That radio in itself, internet radio has taken over. Guess what? I have news for everybody out there that always talk about the terrestrial radio station. They're internet radio as well. Because they on the internet. This is where all of us internet radio now. You get in your cars. All you got to have a Bluetooth in your car, things like that. And I think that's what's happening. The knowledge out there has been limited because a lot of people don't take the time to learn more about what internet radio is, how it works, and things like that. And I think we've limited ourselves based on the lack of knowledge.
Right. Amen. Exactly.
I think part of this, I think, that radio being a huge roadblock, I think a lot of artists make radio a roadblock to themselves because they see radio as the epitome of success in the music business. And so they figure, well, if I get on radio, I'm a successful artist. And they look at radio as being the biggest thing to do, to the exclusion of every other marketing avenue that they can use to get fans and get their music out there. And I think that's how music can be a huge stumbling block for people, because that's all they're seeing. That's all they're looking at.
Well, let me drop another caveat. Now, we always talk about this on the show, but I'm gonna mention it again in case some of you guys probably missed it. And we always talk about it. Terrestrial radio is kind of dying because people are not really tuned on. So if you're not saying that terrestrial radio is not important, it is an option, but the route you want to go is internet radio. And then there's a strategy with that. And it's freely, I'm going to give it to you. If you look for internet radio stations that are 1,000 or less listeners, right? And those stations are still in a need to be growing, and you can create a relationship with those station owners a lot quicker than you can with the internet station that has 100,000 listeners. Those station owners, if you say, give yourself a number, because everything dealing with business has numbers. Say I want to break bread with 100 stations that are 1,000 or less listeners. So what happens is you go out and you politic, you create a relationship with that station owner. You might spend $25 or $50 or $75, to do a campaign on that station. But when that station starts to grow because you're spending something, y'all have a relationship. Now you imagine if you got 100 stations, times 100 stations that you have with 1,000 listeners, man, that's a lot of people that you already have access to, and you're kind of the first go-to person for campaigns. And then, because how you get on terrestrial radio without dropping a big bag is having a request. And people call up that station, they request your music.
There you go.
Right? If they request your music 24/7, the station will put you on. Because to play the music politics, you have independent radio promoters because to get around payola, so you want to get on, terrestrial radio, you got to spend some money to get in those circles, but you don't need to do that. Go the internet route, and then build a relationship with the owner. So
that's the roadblock Fred was talking about.
Process to try to get your radio stuff. Don't X out the internet stations. It's a strategy.
Go to internet first, Fred. We're talking to you, Fred. Go to internet route first.
Yeah,
right,
that's
right. Let me. I would kind of just something real quick as far as talking about internet radio. Like I said, I am an internet radio station owner, and I know I built a lot of relationships with a lot of not only mainstream artists but independent artists as well over the years. And the thing is that it's all about I kind of run the internet radio like a terrestrial radio in the sense of the rotations and things like that to make sure that people hear this music and get out there. How to help we do interviews and things like that to help the artists get out there, as well. So it's definitely a platform like Kevin Riley said that it was looked down upon before because of the simple fact that a lot of times with internet radio people didn't understand how it worked. And that's the key. A lot of people say, "I was just on the internet. Anybody gonna hear my stuff and stuff like that." But a lot more people were, were getting on their phones, and the phone became, getting on websites and things like that. So it started growing.
It's helping out internet radio. And another thing too, like internet radio is a much friendlier place for independent music. Your bigger FM stations, they don't care necessarily that much about independent music. Your internet stations are the ones that are going to be playing the fresh, new music that you don't hear anyplace else. They are much more willing to play a lesser known independent artist than your big, terrestrial station. So go to internet route first.
And the reason why, go ahead, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then also too, the me and Simone were talking about this earlier, the gatekeeper mentality, and there was something else. So those, that's pretty much
gatekeepers and the tastemakers. We don't need them anymore. We don't need them anymore. And like Kevin said that you don't even need radio at all anymore. Really, you can take your music directly to the people and not worry about the gatekeepers and the tastemakers. There's nobody has to make your music sound good to somebody else. You can take your music directly to your fans.
Go ahead, Rico.
I want to hit on what Chris Allen just said. He said internet radio will eventually be like traditional radio because with the same concept, competition and big money, I went internet radio, but you don't get full rotation unless you again drop back. But let me stop for a second. Because you got to understand, there's always somebody in the beginning, the middle, or the end. What is it? What is that I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's always somebody that is starting a station. Okay, Fred, right? You have a person that if they have 150, 200,000, 300,000 listeners, of course, they know that they have a money-making machine for advertising, and it's going to be a little bit harder to get in those stations. That's why I said to you, if you look for stations that have 1,000 or less listeners, I looked on it because I go on it quite a bit because there's other stuff that I do. It's millions of those stations, right? That have 1,000 or less listeners.
Yeah.
Because
it's much easier to build a relationship with them.
A lot of those people are discouraged, right? And you may be that determining factor, man, which they send them an email, hey, man, I went across, I haven't seen you in a couple of months. Do you still have the station? What's going on? You can share something with them, but that's called creating relationship, right? I'm not going to go and look for a station that has 150, 200,000 listeners. If I'm trying to get my music played, I'm not going there. I'm giving you this. I'm giving you
a big fish in a small pond.
Man, listen, on this show, if you bring a pen in the pad, you're getting 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 ideas. We're not charging you for it. I'm telling you, I'm not going to go look for a station with 100,000 listeners. I'm going to 1,000 or less listeners, and I'm trying to see who I can make contact with. And I want to start with 100, and I don't have to drop no bag because guess what? If you come to
not
me,
a lot.
Not a lot. You have to drop a bag, like Kevin said.
If you come to me as an independent artist and you got 4 or 5 artists that's on your independent label and you're interested in helping me grow my listener base from 1,000, man, we may just do some trade and barter stuff. You do some drops for me, I'll play some stuff for you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go to the next station owner that's in that pool. I'm never going to 100,000. It's a strategy. If you follow the instructions, you can be successful. I just
you know what? Oh, okay, go ahead.
And then I'm gonna go to UTC. And like my man Will Brown here says, too many owners and program directors of terrestrial radio stations are making the decisions for listeners as what they should be in rotation.
Right. And that's that tastemaker and gatekeeper mentality. Some people can come in and some people can't. Well, go to the places where they are welcoming you in your music.
There you go.
Right.
Go ahead,
Well,
TC.
I was gonna say, Rico hit on a lot of stuff that is so true. And here's the thing about terrestrial stations that we have to understand: terrestrial stations, our program directions are only allowed to play certain things because they get paid to play a lot of the music
That's
they play.
true.
That's why you
You're in
hear
the
the same
pocket of
music
the
over and
labels.
over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Exactly.
Well,
Payola.
I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. I
Hmm.
have my church here in Cleveland, Ohio. I was on Radio 1000 AM here in Cleveland. I was able to pay a lot of independent artists, and we had a Radio One station here. I'm not gonna name the name of it, and
Uh-huh.
if y'all remember Arbitron back in the day, for
Yeah.
radio,
Right.
we became number one on the Arbitron. You know why? Because we played stuff that was different, and people would call in for the music that we would play. We played people like Sonny Hawkins and
Yes.
Makita. Yeah, stuff like that. So stuff that was different, and they would call in to ask for that. And the reason why they would do that because they allowed us to be the platform to do that. And the thing is that you know, by the grace of God, I thank God for allowing us to do that for that time because we were number one, and then we introduced people to a whole different people of artists. The whole different slew of artists, and now the artists have benefited from that just right here in Cleveland for the fact that we was able to take that out. So the thing is that I agree with what Rico was saying as far as building the relationships, internet radio, things like that. But I realize that radio, no matter whether it's internet radio or radio terrestrial radio, it's all in to make money. Your advertisers are the key to make money. That's the whole purpose of radio. You have to make money. You
Yeah.
have to make money to keep stuff going on. It takes money to keep everything going on.
Right.
So you're
Exactly.
gonna have to
You
make
have to
money with
remember
it.
that they're a business as well.
Exactly.
You want to keep these
Exactly.
stations around that are playing your music.
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
It's
And
good to hand them some cash. That's how they stick around.
It's easier for you to do a running campaign for $250 versus you trying to go to a terrestrial station and they need $25,000.
Right.
Right, and that's going to get you on one station. It
One.
takes a lot of
Getting
money
ads. Right.
to be across the country all at the same time in rotation. So you do have to spend money. There's no free lunch. We keep telling you, if you're in the
Relationships and
music
budgets.
business, it takes
Right.
three things. You got to have a good product, you got to have marketing, you got to have money. If you're
Right.
saying to yourself right now, you're looking at your pocket and you see lint in your pocket, it ain't time for you to do music.
Don't make
got
some
to
money.
continue preparing. You
Yeah.
got to make some money. And if you don't have, because I remember my brother got on here and he said, well, man, I just don't have the money. What can I do? Bro, go get a second job. Go get a third job. Go
Exactly.
get a fourth job. Go get a business.
Get out there.
That's going to create the revenue that you
Hey,
need.
Ramsey says it all the time. There's a place to go when you are broke. To work.
Those extra 4 jobs, right?
Hmm.
It's not going to be forever, but it's going to produce the revenue you need to upstart your business or get your music going if that's needed.
Hey, exactly. You know what I'm saying? It takes relationships and budgets, and so that's quit trying to fool yourself. And then also, I want to say real quick before we go, if you're a station owner out there, don't try to extort money out of folks. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Charging these high prices when really, the value is not really there. So I understand it take money. So, but again, let's just be realistic. For me, I'm not paying you $300 just for 1 hour just to be on your radio station. You can forget. I'm not paying to be on something that I'm doing for free. Elsewhere, I'll work a deal out with you, but other than that, no. Man, you can go somewhere with that mess. Because again, I'm gonna say, man, don't get me started.
Be smart about where you're putting your money. You look at which stations, has the listeners that you need, that has the format, like Kevin Riley said. Don't send your song to a hip hop station if your song is all ballads and jazz.
Exactly.
Pay attention to what the station is interested in, what they're playing. You're helping them and they're helping you. Make it a win-win situation.
Thank you. Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, hey, look, we get ready to wrap things up here. So we want to thank my man TC for being on.
Thanks for being on, bro.
Give your information out to the people out there. This is for those who are watching.
All right, thank y'all so much. Like I said, for anybody that's in the gospel industry, of course, WOGS1039FM.com is our website. Hit me up, TC Congress. My number directly is 216-264-0387. Again, that's 216-264-0387. Hit me up. I'd love to talk to you, help you any way I can. And God bless you. Thank you for having me, y'all. I really appreciate the opportunity and time. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
And man, Hey man, we'll have you on again too. You know, like I say, man, you know, the industry is small. The Christian gospel industry is small, and you never know who knows who. So, you know, you better be careful how you treat folks. All right.
Be nice.
That's right.
Be nice. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah, go ahead, Rico. Go ahead.
And I'm just gonna leave you with this, man. If you didn't get anything out of the show, I want you to get this right here, man. Like, you got to get education. You got to spend time learning. Learn that everything is on YouTube, guys and girls. Like, all the information you need to learn. If you don't understand publishing, go read about it. Go, even if you have to buy a book that's on the I'm not talking about Donald Passmore in his business called music. That book is antiquated. The music industry has changed. You need to understand where music is right now. So if you need to educate yourself, educate yourself. You know, I'm available. You can inbox me. I'm at RicoGibson.com, or you can go to musicindustrymakeover.com, and you'll see all of our information will be there on our
all three of us. Yes.
You can inbox us if you got questions. I ain't gonna charge you for a question, you know. But if you need help, then we have some structure, you know, that we can sit down with you. We do offer a music services company so that we can help you if you're not able to do it. So if you want us to sit down with you, consult with you, we charge nothing for a consultation for 30 minutes to sit down and see what are you trying to do and see if we can help you.
That's it. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, I am just going to go through our little 30-second spiel right here. Okay. So, you know, we are a business as well. This is what we do. We're a premium artist services company helping independent Christian recording artists fill the gaps in their music business. A lot of you're good with the music, but not so good with the business, or you're good with the business, not so good with the music. You know, we help you to fill those gaps, help you with your branding. We walk you through the process of branding, fan engagement, and monetization. If you need production help, we take care of your mixing and your mastering. And then once your infrastructure is set, we want you to be ready. So when we put you out there, you're ready to go. We're going to use our resources and connections to market and promote your music in all different types of media. Okay, so that is what we do here at Music Industry Makeover.
Amen. Awesome. And real quick, you know, as she mentioned about our resources that we'll use to help market you. Like, for example, we have a resource with TC right here. Okay, if we was to give him your music, he would definitely play it. Why? Because we have a relationships and budgets. Okay, right. It is what it is. You know,
don't do drive-bys with your music. Okay, people don't just drop it and roll out.
Yeah. So you know, so he'll play your music a lot faster coming from us than it will from you, because again, you don't have that relationship.
There's a relationship there. Absolutely.
Right. That's right. Exactly. So, and again, vice versa. And also, hey, you know, it's all about relationships and budgets. Go check us out, Music Industry Makeover. You all guys have a happy Thanksgiving. God bless you and your family. And hey, just love on one another. And we look forward to seeing you all Thursday after next. All right.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Turkey.
Yeah, green eggs and ham, huh? Yes. Right. Yes. Happy Thanksgiving. Thankful to see another one. All right. Y'all have a blessed one. Yes. Right.
That was good.